Hello and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie, and this is our weekly event called That's Fancy. I apologize for being so late in arriving and getting this started. Still getting things out of the way here. Technology was not my friend tonight at all. I have been trying to get things set up and going for half an hour, and I think that I'm in now. I think that we are here, but oh my, what trials and tribulations. This has just been a bit of a nightmare this evening. So hopefully everything goes smoothly from here on in. We'll see. This is the next test when I call up Facebook on my tablet here and see if I'm getting double audio and all that. Hi, Mary. I hope you haven't been waiting too long for me to get everything in gear to get going on this, but this is boxes and packaging tonight. We had some fun making things last week and had a request for boxes for tonight. So tonight we're going to do some packaging and some boxes. Donna, hi, I'm so glad you found me. You made it. And I was late tonight getting started, but anyway, we're here now. So let me just flip this around and we can get started. Donna, I hope you haven't been waiting for too long as well. I was telling Mary that technology was not my friend this evening. So, but look, there we go. We are in the viewfinder. We're here. Okay, so I think we are ready. So I have up to 4 packages tonight. We'll see how it goes and how we do for time on this. See how far we get, but we're going to start with something that's really easy to make. And it is, actually I should take these pieces out of the inside because this is, I just saw this one recently, and so I haven't glued it down because this is my template and my training material, but this is just a little triangle box bowl holder. You could put some little treats in it, whatever you like, but it's super easy to make. So I thought we would start with this one, and I'm just going to pull it apart because, as I said, I think I'm going to pull it apart. I haven't glued it in any way yet. So it is made with 3 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper. Okay, so whenever I'm trying something for the first time, I usually use retired product, but for tonight's project, I have some current Christmas Tidings designer series paper. So we are just going to go through and I will show you how easy this is to make. So we're going to take our 6x6 and we are going to fold it in half on the diagonal. And we're going to look for our bone folder, which, okay, there we go. So we fold that in half that way. And then we're going to fold it in half the other way. Although I don't know why. Well, it's apparently we were supposed to. That's going to mark the middle here. I'm just going to fold this way as well so I can see this. And then we are going to take this middle section here and we are going to fold it up to the top. And I don't have that folded very evenly, do I? Just fix that up a little bit. Okay, and we're going to fold up to the top. Mary, I hope you got your class kit the other day. I was later getting there than I had planned. You know, left home and actually forgot to take your package with me. So I had to turn around and go back. But anyway, had a few things I was dropping off. So I've folded this up. Now I've opened it up again and I'm going just to this same crease and I'm going to fold this down And I'm going to fold this down. Okay. So there we have all of our creases in. This is going to be folded. This creates the base, and this will create the edges. You got it. Good. Excellent. Okay. So you do the exact same thing with all 3 pieces. Did I mention that you need 3 pieces of 6 by 6? You need 3 pieces of 6 by 6 designer series paper for this one. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to fold one diagonal, and then I'm going to open it up and fold the other diagonal. Okay, and I'm going to fold this both directions, just so it's easy to work with. Look around this way again. I'm going to fold up to the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to open it up and fold to this crease and fold down to the point. And the same with this one. Down to the point. I suspect there's versions of this around on the internet and things. I actually just saw it the other week on a demonstrator call that I was on with some ladies from the UK. We meet once a month to talk about what we're doing and how we're doing and all that sort of thing. And it's really interesting to just see some of the different things that they do in the UK. And there's an Australian woman on there as well. So I struggle with accents, but it's interesting. And the UK ladies I find are so very creative. So there's always lots of great ideas that they share. One of the ladies was talking about boxes that she had made with her team, and this was one of them. She says, "Oh, this one's so easy, I can show it to you in no time flat." So we all ran and grabbed some paper, and she showed us. So I thought I would share it here tonight. Okay, so there. Now we have our 3 pieces, and they just all fit together. So you take this bottom triangle, this is going to form the bottom of our box, but the other pieces just slide into each other like this. Okay, and the third one will slide into both of these pieces. Just kind of feed it in through there. And you just have to kind of tease it a little bit to get it all squished in and lined up and everything. But well, this side doesn't quite want to go in. I don't know. Feels like it's catching on something. I must have my angles a little different somehow. Maybe I'm going to pull this one out and put him in first. Let's see if I can get him to go in. When in doubt, open it up and look what's going on in there, you guys. Get yourself squished together. There we go. Put this one back in here. There we go. And that's the box. That's the whole thing. Now, if you want to glue this stuff all down, you certainly can glue these edges. I think that I should put, I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue on the edge of this piece. She didn't actually tell us how she glued it together, but this is how I am gluing it together. I'll set that down there. And then I am just going to drop just a little bit of glue into the middle here. And that'll kind of, excuse me, hold all of that down. It is cool, isn't it, Mary? I was like, wow, look at that. That is so quick and easy. And then the other thing that I did just to add a little strength and reinforcement, I've got the stitched triangles dies, and I have used the largest triangle from this series. And I cut out 2 pieces of evening evergreen. I don't quite have this together. We have a little hole in our bowl. So I cut out 2 pieces, and then I'm just going to put some glue, liquid glue, on the back of these. And I'll put one in here. And these are a little bit smaller than the box, but that's okay. They'll just provide a little bit of cardstock reinforcement in there. So push him down, and then I will put some glue on the back of this piece as well, and put him on the bottom. Just drop it down there, get it lined up because it's liquid glue. I'm counting on my moment that I can rearrange things. There we go. Just give it a bit of a push, set it down, and then I can push it again from the inside. And there you have it. It's quick, it's easy, it's kind of cute. It's very different. It's not your typical box or bowl or whatever. So something a little different to start us off. Okay. So this is sort of a bit of my night of stealing ideas from other demonstrators. Well, it's what we all do is all the time practically, isn't it? We all just share ideas. So this next one that I have is a self-closing, it's sort of a bag, almost like a gift bag, gift box, whatever you want to call it. And this top, which is closed right now, will just pop open like that, and then you could put a treat in there or something, and it just closes itself, and it just stays closed. There's no adhesive at all on the top there. So again, this was one of my test runs. So I've made this with old paper, but I have it again for new paper, with new paper. And the fun thing about this is that you can make it any size you want. So if math is not your thing, I suggest that you work in even numbers. So let's see what we have here. This is okay. So this is going to be, I've got it 6 inches tall, and then you need to add a half. Nope, you don't for the height. We're going to do it this way. It's 6 inches wide and add a half. So it's 6.5 wide, and this particular one is 9 inches high. It can be any height. The height does not matter for what you're doing, but you could do it 4 inches by 6 or something. You're going to add a half to the 4. Okay, so I am just going to bring in my paper trimmer. And this time actually for scoring, since this is already cut 6.5 by 9. So I'm just going to leave that. Okay, so this is the 9, so the 6. Oops, I need a little more scoring tool here. Okay. So I'm going to put the cutting blade at the top, and I am going to score this at 6 inches. So you're going to score that last ½ inch. Okay. And then I'm going to take half of the 6. So that's 3 inches. And I'm going to score that. Okay. Half of 3 inches is 1.5. So I'm going to turn this to the bottom, and I'm going to score at 1.5 across the bottom. And then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees again so that I'm coming up from the bottom, and I'm going to score just to this score line that I just did. So I'm just going to fold this so that I can see where I'm going to. Okay, and I'm going to score at 1.5 up to the score line. You can also use the ruler on here, although I find it a little difficult to see sometimes depending on the paper that's underneath. So that's scored at half. We had scored, sorry, 1.5. I hope that, yes, that's, sorry, 1.5. 1.5, we had already scored at, I should have done all these. That's the wrong place. It's the wrong side for 1.5. Scratch that whole part. I'm messing up already. Okay, this is where I have my 1/2 inch. So I am going to fold this 1/2 inch so that I don't lose track of it again. Okay, so there's the 1/2 inch, and we have also scored here at 3. So this piece is 6. We've scored in the middle at 3. Do another one of these so you guys can figure out what the heck I'm talking about, right? Okay, so then from the edge that has no scoring, we're going to go over 1.5 just to this score line here. And then we have the score line at 3. And then we're going to go over another 1.5. So that's 4.5. Paper, now that I've scored it, it's getting stuck in the, okay, and I'm going to score again just up to this 1.5 part. Okay, so we've got 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. So it's every 1.5, and then the 3 inch down the middle goes the whole way. I hope that isn't too messy. All right, so we're just going to fold this on this middle score line as well, and then at the bottom this is scored up. So now I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut this little corner. I'm going to take it right off, and I usually do an angle just so it folds up nicer when we're making it. And then we are going to cut a little tiny wedge at each of these score lines. This one, I think this one, you just need to pick one. I want one that's away from where my seam is going to be. So my seam is going to be near this one and this one. I'm going to cut him up. I'm just going to put a wedge on this piece. And I'm going to leave this one square, and that will be my bottom piece. So I'm going to take a little wedge out of this one and a little wedge out of the end. Okay, did I get that on the square? I think so. Okay, get these scraps out of the way, and then you are going to put adhesive on 3 of these pieces. So I usually leave this one blank, and then I do the next 3. When you're doing anything 3D, tear and tape is a great idea. So just add some of that to the top and bottom of each of these flaps. And you can put this in the exact same place, because as the box comes together, it will end up taping itself in different places. So you're going to hit all your edges this way, even though your tape is all in the same place. that makes any kind of sense. Yeah, these are fun, aren't they, Mary? It's magic how they stick. You actually want this tape on the outside because it's going to fold in. I'm going to put my tape right near the edge of this so that my seam, my join is stuck right at the edge of my paper. I'll go right down the whole way with that. Okay, so when we take this piece off, we can just fold this piece right over in half, and it should. Why is it not quite in half? There we go. Just, oops, now I'm sticking to it. There we go. So it will just fold right in half. Or some more scraps there. And now we have a little pocket. Okay, I'm just going to bend these out so I can get at them. And I'm going to take this layer of the tape off so that it's sticky and ready to go. If you haven't worked with our tear and tape, it is wonderful stuff. It is easy to use, and it's super strong, so it's great if you're doing 3D projects. You can also use our liquid adhesive. You just have to be a little bit more patient than I am because you have to sort of hold it in place until it starts to stick. Or you can use the Seal Plus as well. It is our stronger tape runner. So we have Seal, which is fantastic for card making stuff, and Seal Plus, which is just a little stronger, but I really like using the Terran tape. So your piece, this is my piece that has no adhesive on it, and I am going to fold it in first so that I have nothing sticky on the bottom of my box. This is my one that is square, so it is going to be the last one. And then I am just going to fold these in, and you just want to be lining everything up so that the bottom of your box is square. There we go. So once you have that down, depending on how tall your box is, you could stick your bone folder in. I might kind of lose it. I need something longer than a bone folder. So I am going to grab, oh look, my bow fork. So you just want something that you can stick in there and rub it around on the bottom. And then that'll get all your adhesive stuck. Now for the top, I just like to round my corners. So bring in my corner rounder punch here and put that in. And just give these corners a little rounding. So, and you can see already that this this box just wants to close itself. So it just naturally opens up. You can drop some treats in. If I was going to give someone a bone folder for a gift, I could just drop that in there. And then it just you just give it a little pinch and it stays closed. How awesome is that? I'll take that out, or I'll be looking for it for the next project. I will have no idea where it is, and we'll be here all night. Now, I did have some little decoration bits we can add to this to fancy it up. I didn't know whether I wanted something fancy, or could do some of these. These are from the Gingerbread and Peppermint Designer Series paper, and I just cut them out with the dies. Could put a couple of those on. We could do all three. We could go right up the whole thing. Oh, that's kind of fun. What do you think? You think I like that? Okay, we'll do that. Or we could put happy holidays somewhere too. Maybe we could do three things plus happy holidays. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're going for it. We're going all out with the decorations. Okay, so I will use some tape runner for these. I'm not entirely certain where these are going to stick. I'm going to assume that we will get them stuck down through the middle, because the box is a little rounded, so it's not going to, the whole thing is not going to stick down. And then I think we'll put some dimensionals onto our sentiment. It will go flat on the top. So, whoops. Oh, extra layer of backing here. So it wasn't sticking. That one stick, that one stuck. So I pulled too hard trying to get them off the sheet. Okay. There we go. So I think a lot of you know that I'm an instructor at Blue Mountain, a ski instructor. I got a notification today that they are closing Blue for a few days anyway, due to the spring conditions. They opened on Friday, and I know they were open over the weekend. Not sure how many people that were there or how the skiing was. I skied on Friday on opening day, but they just couldn't keep up with the spring weather, so they're gonna shut it down for a few days. And I think they're hoping for some cooler temperatures so they can start making snow again by the weekend. So anyway, so I know I won't be scheduled to work for the next little while. I got that knot in the middle, which will drive me crazy. So I'm going to pull it off and try again. The others are kind of in the middle. There we go. Look at that. I wasn't sure whether this was going to be too long, but I really like it. If you were giving someone, I think this is too wide, but if you were giving someone a tube of hand cream, it would fit in there and would be really cute, a really cute way to wrap it. Or you could, you can always fill it with candy, or as my kids always tell me, money will fit into just about any container, Mom. So, but anyway, not putting money in this one. So how we doing for time here? Oh, okay. Maybe we should move on. I was going to make a smaller one, but hopefully you got the idea on the dimensions there. So you take, you can do it any size, but if your width, if you want to try an even number, so 4 inches, add a half, and then whatever height you want. Okay. And this you're going to score the 1/2 inch off, and then you're going to take the 4 and divide by 2, which equals 2. And then you're going to take the 2 and divide by 2, which equals 1. So you're going to score your whole piece. You're going to take the 1/2 inch off. This is 1/2 inch. You are a little hard to see, isn't it? You're going to score at 2, and then this will be 1 inch, and then 1 inch and 1 inch. You see that? Maybe I'll do a little better picture and put it up on my on my website. You'll see it on my blog on Thursday. Okay, so that's that one. Next, we have a box, a real box, a box that looks like a box. So here is a box that I have made. Again, look, testing out my sizing with older product, just in case it didn't work, but it did work. This is a version of a box that I have made in the past, but I made it different sizes. So this box, you could put any kind of a gift in it or anything you like. It will hold, I have, I think 8. Yes, I have 8 cards and envelopes in here. So it's fairly heavy, actually. 8 cards weigh a lot. So they're not packed in there. You could still flip through these and see which card you were looking for, something you wanted to send to someone. But it will hold 8 cards very easily. You could put 10 or 12 in here, I'm sure, if you wanted to squeeze them in a little bit tighter. But this would be just an awesome gift for someone. You could give them, some of your beautiful handmade cards in a pretty box. They could store them in this and just pull them out and use them as they needed. There we go. Christmas gifts for everyone. So let's make this box. So for this box, in the size that I made, you need 2 pieces of cardstock that are 6 by 4 1/4. Nope, sorry, that's the size of the box. The box, so the box is 6 inches by 4 1/2, not even 4 1/4, 4 1/2. It's one of those nights, what can I say? So it's 6 by 4 1/2 by 2. Okay, so your 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 cards will fit in there perfectly. But my cardstock is 8 1/2 by 7. Okay, and I have two pieces of that. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard once again, and these pieces will be scored the same way. So on the long side, I am going to score it. Oh, and I'm going to need this again, aren't I? I am going to score it at 6. Not the cutting blade, the scoring blade. 6 and 8. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it, and I am going to score it at 2 inches and 6 1/2 inches. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on this one. On the long side, I'm going to score it at 6 and 8. Okay. I'm going to turn it and score it at 2 and 6 1/2. Okay. Now, while we are here, the piece that we're going to use for the lid is 8 1/2 by 4 1/2. And you're just going to score this at 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. Okay, and it's easiest, I find, just to turn your cardstock and do 1 1/4 everywhere. That way you only have to remember the one number. Just 1 1/4. Okay, now I also need some designer series paper, and I am using the Ever Eden paper. I don't know if you have seen this or not, but it is stunning. It is from the Eden's Garden Suite, which was an early release, and this paper is only available until the end of this year. So it is beautiful. It's got gold accents, and it's all two of my favorite colors, soft succulent and evening evergreen. So it's just beautiful. There's gold accents and then just some interesting patterns on the back. This one I find is quite busy, but the back is lovely. It's just like a little herringbone pattern. There is this piece that is soft succulent and evening evergreen. It's the same as one of the white pieces that is hiding on me right now. But this is, they have this in, there we go. So it's pretty much the same thing, but one is a white background and one is a soft succulent background. And then there is some lovely patterns on the back of this as well. But we are just using one piece of it tonight. This piece, I like the back of this one too. Anyway, this paper, as I said, is only available until the end of the year or while supplies last, but I did check today and you can still order it. So for now, you can get it. So if you are interested in it, I suggest perhaps you order it sooner rather than later. So for the designer series paper, we need a piece that is 5 3/4 across the top. This probably doesn't have an up or a down, but I'm going to cut that at 5 3/4. And then I'm going to cut it by 4 1/4. And we need 2 of those for the front and back. And then we need 4 1/4 by 1 3/4. And 2 of those. And this is 1 3/4. Okay, so you're going to use your whole 12-inch strip to get your 4 pieces, and then you just have one little bit left over. So there is our designer series paper. Okay, so cutting the box. We are going to move these out of the way for a moment. Move these out of the way. I'm going to fold everything on the score lines. So same with this one. Got this little guy. Okay, and then this is how we're going to join the 2 pieces. And this is just a reinforcing top edge of the box. I like to do a little fold in to reinforce it to make the top of the box a little bit stronger. So we do not need this piece for the bottom. So again, I'm going to cut this out. And again, I'm just going to cut little wedges as I cut. Okay. And I'm going to cut a wedge on this one. And this top piece we also do not need. So we will cut him out and we will cut a little wedge in both of these just so it's not too bulky as we fold it together. Then you're going to do the exact same thing on this piece. Cut this little piece out completely. And I'm just going to cut this edge and make a little wedge. Okay. I'm going to cut this little corner out completely. And I am going to cut a little wedge here. Okay, I'll get all of my messy bits out of the way. So now we are going to put tape runner onto these pieces that we have folded in. So again, I'm using Terran tape, and I'm going to go right near the folded edge of this so that my box is sealed right at the very outside edge. Okay. I'll put it on this one as well. Okay, I also want to put some tape along here. These pieces are just going to fold down inside the box, so you don't need to worry about the tape being along any particular edge. It can just go right across the middle of those pieces. It's fine. There we go. Okay, so easiest just to fold these down and get them in place first, and then we can build the box. So these just fold straight down. And as I said, this is just to reinforce the top of the box so that it is double cardstock. So it's just a little stronger, makes the box hold its shape a little bit better, makes it a little sturdier if you're, especially if you're, storing cards in it and you're going to be putting cards, taking cards out and putting them back in and that sort of thing. Just gives it a little bit more, makes it a little bit more rigid. Okay, and then I'm going to take the cover off of the tape on these edges. Now, this one, you are just going to line this up with the top corner. You just want it all to stay very square. You're just going to put it right over top of the other piece of cardstock. And then this one, you can fold this in, and this will just fold right over onto it. Now we have our box. Okay, not that it's attached or anything. Okay, so it's going to fold up like this. You can have either side can be the front. It doesn't really matter. So however you choose. So I am just going to put some adhesive on the outside of these small pieces. Again, I'm going to do 2 strips on here and 2 strips on here. This is very sticky stuff, keeps sticking to my fingers. There we go. And then these will fold in, this will come down. You don't need any adhesive on this piece, and we'll put 2 pieces on what will become the top flap. It's a little bit hard to see, I know. I'll try to fold these things out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to put this is what will fold down to the underside of the flap. So it's not the outside bottom of the box. It is going to be inside. Okay. Do that top and bottom. Okay. So that's ready to put together. But before we do that, we want to attach our designer series paper because it's easier to put on while the box is flat. You can do it once your box is assembled. It just means you need to be sticking your hand inside and squishing from the inside to the outside and stuff. So if you do it while it's flat, it's easier to just push it down this way. Okay, so there's the one side, and here is an end piece. Oh, I'm going to flip that over and put this on. I don't know if this has a top and bottom or not, or an up and a down. I guess I did this one this way. So let's, at the very least, let's keep it the same. I don't think you would look at it and go, oh, your paper's upside down. Or maybe you would, and my eyes are just not seeing it tonight. But anyway, I'm going to put it on this way. So if one is upside down, they're both upside down, but at least they are the same. And I don't know that I did this one. Oh, yes, I did. Okay. Got lucky with that one. So I wasn't really paying attention to this small piece, but okay. Whoopsie. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to give that just a moment to kind of set up, and we will come over and I'll show you how I put the lid together. I didn't actually cut designer series paper for this while I was doing that, but we could. You can have it plain or you can have it decorated, whatever you like. So this is just a really standard tray. You can fold it up to go wherever you wish. So I am just going to cut straight on this edge, but I'm going to cut a little wedge on this tab, and I'm going to do that on both sides of it. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other three. So this is just straight and a little wedge. And then I'm going to cut a little wedge here. And same thing down this edge. So straight up and a little wedge. Straight up with a little wedge. Oh, I forgot the outside ones, didn't I? I'll go back and do those. There we go. And you just cut the little wedges so that it's not as bulky right in the corners. You just find things tend to come together a little bit nicer if you do that. So now I'm going to put tape runner on these 4 tabs. If I can find where it starts. There we go. I've got a little bit of, it got the short end of the stick, or the sticky. Okay, bad humor. You don't have to pay extra for that. That's the good news. There we go. Okay, now let's see if I can get all of these off of here. As time goes by, I'm putting all my garbage everywhere, and I'm not cleaning up after myself as well as I could or possibly should, but time's getting tight. We started kind of late, so the hour is almost over, and I don't have the box together. I'm going to put this together without decorating it. I will, the other box just had a piece right on the very top, so that won't be too difficult if I want to add some designer series paper after. So you're just lining this up so that this edge is square with the fold, okay, and then pressing it together. Stick this in. Whoop, don't stick yet, little guy. Don't. There. Okay, and there is your box lid. We will pull these pieces off so we can put this box together. Could bring in my silicone mat in case I stick it down, but I'm just sort of holding it up in the air, so hopefully nothing sticks to anything that it shouldn't. Okay, so I'm just going to square this up, put these down, and this piece will go in. You just want to make sure you've got it square as it's going in, and then this piece comes down, and again you want to make sure it's staying square and lining up on the edges. There we go. And again, you want to take your bone folder and you can just give a nice push from the inside so that it's all stuck down. Okay, there's the box. There's the lid. Now, usually I move this out. When I do it on my scoreboard, I usually move it out a little bit. So this lid is just a little bit more snug than usual. But there it is. Well done. What do you think? Some designer series paper on the top. You could decorate the edges as well. You could put a bow on the edges. You could tie ribbon all the way around it. You could put something fancy on the top. Lots of options. How you decorate it at this point is entirely up to you. But there's your box. And it's a nice, it's a good rigid box, fairly solid. So, alrighty, it's 8:30. We did it. We finished. What we didn't get to, if you watched my lunch break live on Thursday, we had made a bunch of Christmas tags. Yes, a whole mess of tags. I have perhaps made 3 more since then as well, with some bits that were still on my desk. But we made a bunch of gift tags, and I had suggested that perhaps we should make a box for these tonight if you wanted to give these as a gift, or even just to keep them organized with your Christmas wrapping paper. And we didn't get to that. So I will perhaps put that together and put that on my blog as well, so you can watch for that. That'll be a little bag or a little box that you can store Christmas tags in. But what we did do this evening was a dish that I've lost already. Here we go. So we made our little triangle bowl, and we made our self-closing package, and we made a box. Is it? Can I get everything into the picture? Kind of, sort of, sort of, maybe. Does it fit? Squish. I have to turn the box sideways. Anyway, there we go. Okay. Let's oh, what am I trying to do here? I am trying to put this back to me. There we go. We can get rid of that for now. There. Okay, so that's it for tonight for That's Fancy. I hope you like the containers that we made, the box and the bowl and the bag, I guess. Look at that. We covered it all. A box, a bowl, and a bag. I will post these on my blog for Thursday. Tomorrow's blog will be the Christmas tags from lunch break last week. But when I put it up on Thursday, I'll also add a little box or bag or something to hold the Christmas tags. So that'll be the bonus item that you can watch for. Thank you so much for stopping in, Donna. I'm glad you liked them. I'm so great that you found me tonight. I'm glad that we're making progress. If I can just get technology to work when I'm trying to do these things, life would be great. But anyway, we got it going. So thank you so much for joining me. And we will see you next Monday night at 7:30 for That's Fancy. Night for now, everyone.